Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this Friday morning. Got a big show lined up, some cool things going on we're going to share with you. But first, let's take a look at our weather brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard and hard-working crew. Speaking of cool weather, how about tonight, all the way down to 41 here on the coast. Inland is going to be even colder. There'll be some fires going on in some of these fireplaces throughout the Panhandle. High today is only 60. While I'm looking through my notes and all of what I'm looking at, the water temperature this morning now is 68.7. Last Wednesday it was 75. So in what, 9 days, it has dropped about 7 degrees, 6 to 7 degrees, and that's that drop where it really signals everything. And I know some of y'all think it's ridiculous for me to keep up like it, but this is when the movement and all starts, when the migration, it has started, but now they sort of get on out of here. And then also in the bay system, they're getting out of the bay and coming on, the flounder getting on out of here, the mullets getting on out of here, and simply because the days are shorter, and the water temperature is changing. Okay, that's your lesson for today. River readings brought to us by Mountain Dew. Get out and do. Look at that price go to Bunstown. It looks good. It's a 3.4. Got a steady drop to it. Going to be a pretty day on the big river. The Choctaw Caryville reading a 2.8. Pretty calm, right? They got a little bit of drop to it. If we get some rain tomorrow, it'll be going back up. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. A little bit of a neap tide today, and especially tomorrow. Not much tidal movement. Actually, low tide is going to be today around noon, and coming in slowly and then going out slowly. But look at next weekend, Thanksgiving weekend. You're looking at some strong tides. That's the strongest tides we've had in a very long time. You may want to hunt in the morning and fish in the afternoon, or vice versa, because we've got a really good tidal flow coming in next week. Also, now let's take a look at our fishing game time today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. Our time this morning, 6:18 to 8:18. This afternoon from 6:39 to 8:39. Okay, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's get first things first on this Friday morning, because we're going to talk about Friday night lights here in the Florida Panhandle. Here's my list of games. And Cottondale at Sneed's, going to be a big one there. Holmes County going to Northview. Thank you, Mr. Slade, for getting me that information. And Bluntstown at St. Joe. That's what's going on here. If you get a chance to get out and support some of your teams and all, to see some good Friday night lights. Should be a good night for football. A nice, cool night. Wear your jacket. Don't get too cold. All right, well, our goal here on Panhandle Outdoors is to inform and entertain you. And here we are on information. This is from FWC. They sent out some message on their meeting they have coming up. And this is going to be here in Panama City Beach. You know, they meet around the state. But it's going to be November 30th and December 1st, folks. That's coming right around. So here's where they're going to meet. Okay? At Panama City Beach. It's going to be at Blue Green. I don't know where this place is. Blue Green Bayside Resort on Jancula Drive. And it'll meet there. This is public. What's good about it, this is for public input. Okay, so you can talk to, I've been to these before, you can talk to them. You just need to sign up and get in line, basically, and talk about what's going on in the day. They'll have an agenda. So I would encourage you right here to the agenda, okay, and then just go to their meetings where it says commission meetings, myfwc.com, and you can get the agenda. And if I can pull it up, I'll share it with you also, because you know, they don't meet up here. They just do a rotation basis, so we don't see them. All these meetings are just in different places across the state. So we're glad to have them up in our neck of the woods. And speaking up of our neck of the woods, let's get some pictures from our neck of the woods. Well, let's go, before we go to our neck of the woods, down in South Florida, they had a little red tide fish kill last week. Actually on the 14th last week. This is, you know, we've had this before, not very often, but this was down there, red tide fish kill at Cayo Costa State Park. And but I've checked the red tide. I check it on a weekly basis, so we don't have any here. Okay, this is, we got some pictures. Eddie White's in these pictures. They spent about a week down in Weewall, and they caught some fine fish in Weewall. Look at there, don't that look good? I'd way to start off a Friday morning show. Look at that big old catfish. Okay, on Carabel. This is interesting. We talked about it the last couple of weeks about the redfish and all. But I wanted to, what Joe did. He caught a bunch of shrimp in the cast net and fished the incoming tide last night and caught forth. Okay, so that's a good way to do it. That incoming tide with some shrimp and all. And he released all of his. He caught 4 redfish and 5 trout, 5 small trout. Okay, down in Carabel. And here's one of them here. Great picture right there. That's natural bait when you catch those shrimp. Okay, Greg Taylor. All right, here we go. Greg's a loyal viewer. He's a good outdoorsman. I've shown a lot of things he's done in the past. Winston, I hope all is well. I got to come hunt Illinois and shot this 10-point with my crossbow this past Sunday morning at 7 steps. At the moment, I'm hunting in a snow flurry with a doe tag in my pocket. The snow is beautiful, but the low temps are fixing to drop to the low teens and single digits in a couple of days. Have a good Thanksgiving. Good job, Greg, right there. Here's another picture. We've had some good hunts with our viewers headed up Illinois and Kentucky and all. Thank you, Greg, for sharing that with us. This is just a picture here. I want you to look at it. I want to talk about it. That's an old tree stand. You can tell by it's not a safe tree stand. You don't want to get in it, okay? But all those old places, if you get out in the woods and walk around and all, you're bound to see some kind of old tree stand or something there. 2 things that come to my mind. First are just the memories of whoever set up in there. I know they enjoy being in there, and of course it's not safe now. You don't want to get on. The second thing that comes to mind, those hunters way back then, they knew the deer were right there. So anytime I see something like that getting in the woods, I know to sort of look around and sort of, peruse the area and see if they're still pretty amenable to having a nice buck walk out. So I love seeing old deer stands. That's just a picture of one somewhere else, but I wanted to share that with you. All right, check this out. You gotta love daylight savings time. There's nothing like watching the sunset while you're eating lunch. I got a kick out of that one. All right, this is good. Evan Zackrell, we've had her on the show before. His mom, Tammy Schumann Zackrell. She's thankful with Bob Bilsma and Levon, Lighting by Levon. They took Evan up there, okay, up in Illinois, another Illinois buck, and Evan, look at there. I'm gonna show you this buck. Folks, I mean, you're talking about a fine buck. There it is right there. That's a huge buck. Thank you, Bob and Levon, for sharing that time up there with him, and that's a buck of a lifetime. But look how big it is, though. Is that one of those big northern bucks? All the fat on everything? Oh, Evan's got a big old grin. Evan does a lot of outdoor stuff. Okay, we're going to, okay, one more show you real quick. This comes from our own Mike Edwards here in Lynn Haven. And, what do you think he caught him on? How about a Panhandle rattler? Good job, Mike Edwards. Aren't those pretty healthy fish? Mike, thank you for sending those to us. Here, one more picture of them. That's a net full right there. The Panhandle rattler. You can get it at Panhandle Outdoor Shop. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I want to go ahead and mention yesterday, what a great show with Hunter on the show, Hunter Jen, one of our good outdoors young men, and I really appreciate him coming on. But a lot of folks are interested. If you're interested in that woodwork, we didn't really post it. I don't know. If you're interested, call me and touch base with me, and I'll give you his number and all. And he'll make a specialized, like one of those cutting boards. That's really cool. But I can't tell you what his schedule is. But if you're interested, nice young man to meet. But I want to. Okay, but he was talking about. We didn't really get into what he's talking about. A total archery challenge, and that's really what they do. They go out for like a couple of days and hike and backpack and shoot at targets. I mean, it's really. So it's called Total Archery Challenge. And I looked up the website. I've heard about them. I've got a little video here. If I can. I don't know if I can get it on or not. I don't know, Jeff, if it'll. Okay, anyway, we're just going to look at it. This is just a 1-minute video on the things they do. Okay, but anyway, they'll go out for TAC and all kind of weather all across the country. Now he goes up to Tennessee and does it up in Tennessee, but they shoot at the targets and look at the weather they're in, and I mean it's a total challenge about walking through the woods and look at there. So if you check out some of they have video from different parts of the country and all, where you can just get out really in the woods and take advantage of it. That looks like Hunter right there. I don't think he's left-handed. All right. And I don't have to keep scores on this kind of stuff. Okay, that's good. I just wanted to share that with you as far as that total archery challenge. And I'm going to encourage these outdoor classes to check into it, because some of those young people at this point in time in their life, they have time to do it. And I think they would find it challenging, if you excuse the pun. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's get back to our pictures. We haven't finished up with those yet. Here we go. Ned Maxwell. I'll give Ned Maxwell credit for sending this. Fish bite twice a day, before you get there and after you leave. And if you're a fisherman, you know what we're talking about. Okay, a couple more pictures. Gene Anderson, the one and only time my wife asked me to help with our Christmas cookies. That's good, Gene. Now, I'm gonna tell the story before I get into this one. I never thought about this. I ran across it. These deer I'm going to show you, they've actually gotten hit by a power line. Okay, this is up north, up in Michigan. But the story was, I read about it, and I've never heard of this happening. A tree, get these storms coming through, these winter storms up there, and then storms down here with a hurricane. And the winter storm hit, and knocked the tree hit the power line, knocked the power line down, and the deer ran into it. Okay, so here's the story. Here's some pictures right here. You can see the tree where the tree hit the power line. And these deer walked up and, of course, didn't see it. And you can see, I mean, you can see the line right there. See the lines coming through the trees, and they were stepping over trees. And I want to see, I don't know how all three of them, there were three of them that got electrocuted. And this is a hunter that found them. Of course, they cut the power off and cut the trees off of them and all. And that was just what a tragedy, but I'm glad they were able to harvest the deer. Okay, now. All right, Winston, check this catawba tree in Clay County, Alabama. Okay, Alabama champion tree. Here it is. Terry DeFee sent this to me. Terry, that's a catawba tree up there. That looks like an oak tree to me. It's huge. And then Terry sent it, he said the current champion catawba tree is in Calhoun County. It is 60 foot tall and has a circumference of 209 inches. I had no idea. And if it still has catawbas and all, that's very interesting. And I had no idea they got that big, but obviously they do. And you can look at some of these old trees. I know my granddad's old place. He planted them back in the 50s. He's got some big ones, but a lot of them have been the storms again, where they knocked the limbs off and they turned sideways and all kind of things. We've had our share of storms. I want to mention this time of year, when it gets close to Thanksgiving, and the temperature goes down, and just something, I think, internal with a lot of outdoors, but it makes you want to get out in the woods. And I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. Just if you don't do anything but walk out, I just get this urge, first of all, to take my chainsaw and just go cut some firewood. And I'll be doing that. Hopefully I'll do that today. And tomorrow might be having some rain, but just getting out and walking and seeing, you know, what's happened over the last couple of weeks. You've been in the woods, and there's always some kind of limbs or something. It's just something constant. But just urge. I know some of y'all just like to go hiking through the state parks or something. So I would encourage you to do that, especially with Thanksgiving coming up. You got that long weekend, and I know we're all going to have a big meal on a Thursday, but especially the Friday after Thanksgiving and the Saturday after Thanksgiving to make plans to get outdoors and do some fun and cool stuff. Okay, so it's just seems like a lot more fun right this time of year to do that. Okay, now Friday comes pretty regular. Before I get to the Friday one, I want to well, let's go and do a draw, and then I'll do it. We'll come back for our fishing for it. I want to ask y'all a couple of things. Okay, and I was about Tropical Seafood the other day. I tell you what, I talked to Clay. It's surprising to me that we're not seeing, we're not getting a lot of mullet as much as we used to. We're not getting much red roe. I went by to get some red roe mullet, and they didn't have any. He said there's not that many people catching them and bringing them to them. He said it's sort of odd and unusual a little bit too. So I don't guess people eat as much red roe as we used to. All right, here we go. Let's talk about Chopping Dock and a $20 gift certificate going to, all the way from Sneed's, Mary Lou Scott. Congratulations. Come down, or don't come down getting a red roe mullet, and get some grouper or shrimp. All right, big red snapper, Patricia Allday. Patricia Allday and Mary Lou Scott, the ladies ruling today. All right, we're going to take our final break, come back with our famous Friday fishing forecast. Okay, welcome back to our famous Friday fishing forecast. We've got all kinds of things to talk about. Before we get into it, I want to go ahead and ask you if you would, and if you feel inclined to, send me some, for next week's show on Thanksgiving. We're going to do a show Thursday morning, but give me information about, just send me a note, a picture of something you're thankful for. And we'll share it on the show. Like I say, try to do it this weekend if you can, and get it to me by Monday or so. So we're going to get everything in line. And I want to just share I'm going to share what I'm thankful for, and I'd like for you, our viewers, to share what you're thankful for. You can send me an email, you can call me, send me pictures or whatever, and we'll put them on the show. We just have a thankful Thanksgiving morning. So I want to encourage you to do that. Okay, as we get into our fishing forecast, the first word I want to say is snapper, red snapper. Still got these weekends, and next weekend especially, some fun times if you get out and do some snapper fishing. So take advantage of that. Now, I wanted to show one of the bridges. I want to start off at a Tyndall Bridge. I've never started on Tyndall Bridge. I sort of go through it, but a Tyndall Bridge is just really, if you can get out there in any kind of boat, you put it in here at Earl Gilbert Park, and that's a good park there. The construction's coming along, and this has been updated. Has not been updated. That's a nice pier, but anyway, go straight out here. Okay, and right there in the middle, that's a channel. But now, if you want to catch redfish, and like I say, next Thanksgiving weekend is going to be some really big tides. So if you want to do some cool stuff, get on the edges right here, right there. Okay, it's going to be a good spot. Right here. Okay, let me see. Right. Okay, right on both sides. But don't get in the channel. But get on the edge with the tidal flow. Tidal going out. You want to be on this side of the bridge, right in there, and the tide coming in. Try to come right in here. They're going to be around structures. That's going to be a good place to go. Also, I want to jump over to the Mid-Bay Bridge, all the way to Choctawhatchee Bay, the Mid-Bay Bridge. Y'all know about it. It's going to be, again, a good place to go right in there. Right here, okay. It's going to be the same thing. Now, let me tell you what some people are doing for the redfish in a boat. They're actually trolling those X-wraps. You remember we were fishing a lot in Carabel with those X-wraps and the big lips and everything, just a slow troll around those bridges. Don't get too close and all, but just a slow troll, even in a kayak. But so you don't necessarily have to anchor and all, just keep moving, but just keep the bait deep. And also, if you use natural bait, the best natural bait to me is just cut mullet. Get some mullet, just cut little strips of cut mullet. It has a great smell to it. That smell, gets out there, and that's just good. Same way, we'll talk about bull reds in the surf. I've mentioned this before. What a great year, a great season we've had on bull reds. The running of the reds with the Swivel Sisters fishing team, club. They finished up their tournament last week, and a 43-pounder, two 43-pounders, and a 44-pounder. We'll call it here in the surf. Right? That's really good. Also, now keep in mind, we mentioned this about the water temperature cooling down. So everything is moving, and really you want to get in the passes and the channels and all where the fish are moving out. So you stop and think, over in Destin, all these fish coming out of Choctawhatchee Bay, okay, if you want to go camping, all these fish coming out of Choctawhatchee Bay, we know the mullet's coming out of there, we know the flounder's coming out of there, and so are some other fish, and the big bull reds will be hanging around there, okay? And same way, this switch way down here. And I always mention St. Andrews State Park. Just Thanksgiving weekends, and just some good places to go. You can park in the parking lot. You can do some surf fishing, fish off the rocks. It should be really good. I'm mainly talking about next weekend now. Tomorrow is like a washout. No tides, bad weather. So you might want to just get your fishing gear ready. So that's going to be good. Don't forget, if you're fishing with crabs, I'm looking at my notes here. Sheep's head are going to start coming in. The sheep head in December is going to be, early December, late November, and early January. It'll be good sheep head fishing. Also wrote down the freshwater catfish. I was talking to Bill Shields and Bill Allen the other day, and actually Bill Shields went down there by himself, and we got on to him. You don't need to go spend time, you don't need to be on the river by yourself when you get old like Bill Shields and Bill Allen. So we encourage you to go with someone else, okay? And just team up and go with your buddy, but don't try to fish alone and everything. And also, we're going to talk, I'm going to have Bill come on the show next week too about tagging your trot lines. There's about, I won't say controversy, a lot of misinformation out about really you got to put tags on your trot lines and on your bush hooks and all. And I'm going to get Travis is getting it straightened out because especially, and you got to, in a 24-hour span, you got to tend them. You can't leave them like you used to, which is good. But trot lines, we just got to make sure we get all our rules straight on that. And a lot of times the misinformation will come out, but we're going to get those trot lines straight up. And that's about the cool down. Like I said, the jetties piers. That's about what I had. The snappers. What like I said at the beginning, the snapper is good. If you get a chance to get out, catch some snapper. It'll be a great time to do it. Had a good week here on Monday's show. We're going to have County Commissioner Bill Dozier is going to come in and share some outdoor things that they're doing as a county commission to help our outdoors be a better place. So we're looking forward to that. And don't forget to send us some things to me that you're thankful for, and pictures and all, and we'll share those next week. You'll have a great weekend. Enjoy our great outdoors, and always try to find someone to do something good for them. God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.